This is the JTV Caribbean News. I am Sean Rose. Trinidad and Tobago has called for a meeting of the Caribbean Community CARICOM leaders to discuss a coordinated response to the public health threats posed by the Ebola and chikungunya viruses. Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, responding to an advisory issued by the World Health Organization (WHO), said Port of Spain would be willing to host the meeting. According to a statement issued by the Office of the Prime Minister, the meeting will be geared towards orchestrating a plan of action in response to the increasing number of cases of chikungunya in the Caribbean and the prevention of the Ebola virus disease. The meeting will act as a direct response to the Caribbean Public Health Agency (CARICOM), which has been calling for CARICOM member states to adequately prepare for potential cases, to implement the necessary steps to protect healthcare facilities, patients, healthcare workers, and communities. The statement noted that Jamaica is already moving to acquire fever-detecting devices to use at its ports as part of efforts to boost the country's defense against the deadly Ebola and other viruses. So far, the Caribbean has not recorded any cases of the Ebola virus that has caused a number of deaths in Africa, but many regional countries have reported cases of the mosquito-borne chikungunya virus. Guyana will soon be supplying around 5,000 tons of rice each month to Panama, following a newly signed agreement between the two countries in the Caribbean basin. The deal was agreed upon during a meeting between Guyana President Donald Ramuta and Panama President Juan Carlos Varela in Colombia earlier this month. The deal covers the remainder of 2014, with further discussions for a contract renewal in 2015, according to a government statement. The rice will be purchased from local suppliers in Guyana. St. Lucia's Port Castries is readying for a big jump in cruise arrivals in the coming season. The island is slated to receive around 650,000 cruise passengers and 375 ships in the 2014-2015 season, according to the government. That will include the return of Disney Cruise Lines after an 8-year hiatus. Disney will be making 5 calls to the island in the upcoming season. A number of other lines will be returning, including Carnival, Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Wind Star, and others. St. Lucia has become one of the best performing cruise destinations in the Caribbean, and this is by no accident, said Donna Regis, Director of Marketing and Product Development. In the first half of 2014, St. Lucia welcomed 364,228 cruise passengers, according to numbers from the Caribbean Tourism Organization, the CTO. That figure represented a 5.4% increase over the same period in 2013. The Turks and Caicos Islands received a total of 199,344 stopover arrivals in the first half of 2014, a 25% increase compared to the same period in 2013, according to newly released government figures. The growth was driven by a strong winter and spring tourist season, the government said. According to Caribbean Journal, the United States was the British Overseas Territory's largest source market, accounting for 161,385 stopover arrivals, a 28% improvement over 2013. The territory's second largest market, Canada, brought in 22,593 arrivals, a 14% improvement compared to the first 6 months of 2013. Turks and Caicos also reported an increase of 86% from the United Kingdom, and while there was only a small percentage of arrivals from Brazil, the territory saw a 57% improvement from that Central American market. In a statement, TCI's Tourism Director Ralph Higgs said with the Providencial A's International Airport nearing completion, they hope to improve visitors' experience from the point of entry until their return, while continuing to grow their land-based arrivals in the future. And finally, in this week's Caribbean News segment, for the first time there has been a concerted effort in Anguilla to bring about an awareness of the relationship between August Monday as part of Summer Festival or Carnival and Emancipation, the abolition of slavery in the British colonies, including Anguilla, in 1834. Sunday, August 3rd was observed as Emancipation Sunday as part of Anguilla's week of activities and the celebration of 40 years of Carnival on the island. A special service was held at the Bethel Methodist Church, where the original church building was built by slaves. The church's senior choir sang several Negro spiritual songs, and Reverend Dr. Wycliffe Gums mainly apportioned his sermon to slavery and emancipation. 3 Anglican churches joined in the celebration as well. The message of slavery and emancipation is expected to feature more prominently in the Anguilla's Summer Festival or Carnival come next year, with themes of the centuries-old events manifesting in some of the cultural performances. For the JTV Caribbean News, Sean Rose.
Coming up next on JTV News, taxi and livery operators undergo Taxi Academy training in preparation for the expected increase of cruise tourists. And with the planned opening of the new People's Hospital in October, Health Minister Ronnie Skelton welcomes donation by Rotary and appeals for more pledges for the new hospital.